athlete, Dave Rodriguez.
All right, hometown boy David Rodriguez making his debut in King of the Cage, has been involved in martial arts for 14 years, and Rampage, we finally get to find out maybe just how Bruce Lee might have done in mixed martial arts, because this fighter has trained for many years under Jeet Kune Do.
But it don't make him no Bruce Lee, though. I think Bruce Lee would have done very well. Some people don't agree with me, but I think he would have trained very hard. He already trained with Gene LaBelle, you know what I'm saying? So I think Bruce Lee would have done excellent.
Right on. How about you, Duke? What do you think of David Rodriguez at the age of 35 making his debut in KOTC tonight?
Hey, you're never too old for the cage, baby.
Yeah, except for the boxing, that's so dangerous. Them folks need to retire when they turn 16.
Right on. All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape. David Rodriguez, 35, 5'11", 176 pounds. This is his first appearance in King of the Cage. His opponent, DeMarcus Johnson, is 23, 6 feet tall, 185 pounds. Also his debut in King of the Cage.
I'm here with professional MMA fighter Jeremy Horn from Salt Lake City, Utah. So, Jeremy, what do you think of the fighters tonight?
You know, it's been a good show so far. A lot of guys are working hard. You know, it's been an action-packed night so far.
What do you think of the future of the sport? Where is it headed?
It's going to get big. It's been growing a lot over the last year and a half. It's getting a lot of exposure and it's starting to spread out a lot. It's going to get big.
So how long do you think you're going to keep fighting for?
I just turned 30 last month, so I've got another 10 or 15 years in me easy.
Awesome. Well, good luck.
So, Quentin, again, you cut your teeth proverbially in King of the Cage before making your way to the land of the rising sun. As we listen in to Herb Dean now in last-minute instructions, we'll get you to maybe comment on what it's like to come back to, well, the third event for King of the Cage here in Canada.
Man, they doing some things. This is the biggest crowd I've seen in King of the Cage. I want to come here and fight. I want to put it down. I want some Canadian love, too.
Well, it's good to have you here ringside, as again we have David Rodriguez of Edmonton taking on Salt Lake City, Utah's DeMarcus Johnson. Both of them the first time in the cage. And maybe, Quentin, what is it like? You've been both in the cage and in the ring. What is the difference for you as a fighter to fight in a cage and in the ring as we see the action unfold here?
In the cage, you got to put them against the cage and put them against the fence if you want to.
Nice takedown there by DeMarcus Johnson. Sorry, Rampage.
Yeah, I like that. If you want to sustain that jiu-jitsu, put them against the cage, but in the ring, you can't do that. So you got to be well-rounded, partner.
As well, in the King of the cage here, it's revolutionary. Terry Treble-Cox has come up with a new concept in mixed martial arts. The ring is actually not a canvas or a boxing canvas, it's actually a wrestling ring.
Full mount now being employed by DeMarcus Johnson as he now looks to crawl Rodriguez to the fence, and I'm sure he'll try to take advantage of that. Now he tries some ground and pound here, Rampage.
Yeah, he looked good. I'm going for Johnson, you know what I'm saying? He came and said a prayer with me before his fight, and I like that type of stuff. You got to have that Christianity in this fighting game, because being Christian all about fighting. It's an everyday fight, I tell you. I tell you. I'm looking at these ring girls. I'm fighting myself right now.
Yeah, I've said how you doing about 10 times.
Nice reversal there by David Rodriguez, but look at this right away. DeMarcus Johnson sweeps him back, so an interesting ground battle thus far here, guys.
Yeah, he's doing good.
Well, you definitely can see he's taking advantage of his training. That is textbook Jeremy Horn style fighting.
And he treating that guy like he's old or something. Don't treat him like that.
He definitely has created the distance, the posturing. Now Rodriguez giving him his back here and is in danger, taking some shots now to the head.
See, will Bruce Lee do that? Will Bruce Lee give his back like that? I don't think so. You can't compare this guy to Bruce Lee. Look at that. Bruce Lee won't be doing that.
And some ground and pound here being delivered by DeMarcus Johnson. And Herb Dean, as you see DeMarcus Johnson now celebrating. The fight has been called off. David Rodriguez has had enough, and DeMarcus Johnson now shouting out some love to Quentin Rampage Jackson, who, by the way, fans here in Canada will be happy to know is returning to Japan, Pride 30, and will be taking on Hirotaki Yokoya. Your thoughts about returning to Pride Fighting Championships, my friend?
I can't wait to get back in that ring. And man, I've been working on some new things. I'm getting my head screwed on back right. Go to my website, RampageMMA.com, and y'all keep up what's going on with me. Man.
All right. Really good to see you again, Rampage.
Thanks for having me.
Looking forward to calling your
All
fights
right.
in Japan.
Yeah, I got to go use the restroom.
Okay, let's revisit the action before we do make it official and what happened at the end of this fight, Duke.
Well, the worst position again, the full mount. I like to call it the little brother bully position. Oh, good. Spearing elbow there.
It was a verbal tap out there. You could see David Rodriguez moving his lips. And like a Bruce Lee movie, we had to add our own audio there, Duke. Unfortunately for David Rodriguez, his debut in the cage, not exactly going the way he would have liked, but DeMarcus Johnson, this guy's got a lot of potential, showing some great ground game, and as he said, very comfortable on the ground. He wanted to get this thing over quick and easy, and I think it went according to plan for DeMarcus Johnson.
Absolutely, and he kind of spoiled the community service for Mr. Rodriguez tonight.
These athletes are killing themselves for you. This is a tough sport. Give these two guys one more round of applause. And we have a stoppage at 1:51 of the first round. Unable to defend himself, it was stopped by referee Herb Dean. The winner, DeMarcus Johnson.
So they're calling it a referee stoppage at 1 minute and 51 seconds of the opening round, but again, during the replay, you could almost see David Rodriguez begging off, not wanting to have anything more to do with DeMarcus Johnson. And Keith is standing by with your winner, so let's hear from Mr. Johnson.
DeMarcus Johnson, you're trained by Jeremy Horn, and I also noticed you brought Joe Dirksen to the ring. I mean, pretty tough shoes to fill, but you did an awesome job tonight. Tell us how it felt.
Felt good. It was lots of hard work, like I said in the interview. Just lots of training, lots of fighting, lots of stuff.
Any pressure on you? Obviously, having Jeremy in your corner, obviously you want to look good in front of him. Does it put any more pressure on you than normal?
Not really. I mean, come out here and have fun. I mean, that's why everyone's out here, just have a good time.
Ladies and gentlemen, DeMarcus Johnson.
The reason I fight is just for the supreme competition. There's just no better competition out there better than this.
Well, I got a really fast jab, and I either knock people out with the jab. I like to come off my javelin crosses with elbows, and I really like to see blood.
Some people say Ron is known as a banger, but you know, that's perfect for me. That's the best fight. I've been training in like 6-7 years under two-time world champion kickboxer Stan Padak, so that's my world. I love it. Yeah, so that's going to be great for me if he wants to stand there and take it.
The mental game is a big part of the sport, and if you stay solid on your mental game, it really peaks your physical game for you. I've got a lot of experience. I've fought some of the best fighters in the world in Horn, Mark Hughes, Nico Vitelli at Super Brawl. I'm not afraid to be hit by anybody. I'll fight anybody anytime. So I keep that in my mind all the time. I train hard 5-6 days a week, and right now it's all I do for a living.
For me, I love fighting in the King of the Cage. Being on TSN is just, you know, and having TSN here to film is just, you know, that much better. You know, it's finally we're getting some exposure in MMA, which is really nice, and you know, glad to be here for KOTC, and I'm glad that TSN is here to film this for us.
I got killing feels from my uncle. He said, you know, I watched this movie one time, and sounds like a good fight name. I've been fighting since I was 15 years old. I've had the name since I was 18 years old. I'm 30 now, so just stuck with me.
Tonight, my opponents were on Fields. Ron, watch out for my right hand because it's going to level you.
Hi, Peak. I hope you're hungry because you're going to eat a lot of elbows. I'm going to feed knees and elbows to you till you can't stand it no more.
Very happy to have joining us now on the broadcast one of Canada's top mixed martial artists, Joe Dirksen. Joe, congratulations on your win at the King of the Cage show in Calgary, and what do you think about tonight's event?
So far it's a great show and a lot of good fights, a lot of guys coming out, leaving everything they got in the cage, and that's exactly what you need for a great show.
All right, look forward to having your insight in the event coming up in the cage right now.
First, coming to the cage from Dayton, Ohio, out of Killing Fields Fighting, trained by Ernie Pendergrass and coached by Chris Stylers, weighing in at 205 pounds and standing 6'4" tall, with a professional record of 12 wins, 12 losses, and 6 wins coming by way of knockout. 6 wins by way of submission, a veteran of King of the Cage, Super Brawl, and ECC. Please welcome to the cage, Ron Killing Field.
Yes, this matchup sees a battle of the sobriquets, the nicknames, if you will, guys. And Mr. Ron Killing Fields making his way to the cage. And you see behind him Jeremy Horn, who is one of the more, well, talented and busier of the mixed martial artists. And Joe, you've had quite a busy career as well over the last year and a half, not only conquering your home country, but making inroads with the UFC and becoming an international star now as well.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of years, you know, ups and downs like anything else, but the last year or two has been really good. Things just seem to be falling into place and having good fights, and you know, that's what makes promoters happy. They want to see you go out there and do well. And, you know, I've had a little bit of luck, I suppose, or just a lot of hard work, and things seem to be paying off, and it's just a really exciting time.
All right, Duke, what can you tell us about Mr. Fields here as he prepares to make his way to the cage?
Well, as you so shall you reap. He's the Grim Reaper with the scary name, Killing Fields. He's a banger in the U.S. He's known as just a brawler and a ground and pound expert.
And now a veteran Canadian fighter from Victoria, British Columbia. Training out of Pt1 Martial Arts in Victoria in a freestyle and kickboxing system. He is trained by Stan Pt1. He weighed in at 205 pounds. He stands 6'3" tall. His fight record is 10 wins, 11 losses with 1 draw, 3 wins by coming by knockout, and 7 wins by submission. He is a King of the Cage veteran. Welcome to the cage, Chris Mountain of Mayhem, Peace.
And just like our guest commentator, Joe Dirksen, another Canadian fighter, Chris Mountain of Mayhem Peak, not afraid to take on anyone as he's faced some of the sport's better-known names like Bill the Butcher Mahood, Homer Moore, Shannon the Cannon Rich, Vernon Tiger White, and someone you know very well, Mr. Dirksen, Dennis Kang.
Yeah, Chris is a tough guy. He's fought a lot of good fighters, so there's no intimidation factor. He gets in there and he gets right to work. I mean, he knows what he wants to do, and he wants to be in there and get to work.
Very colorful. He said he's bringing the action. He welcomes Killing Fields. Hey, step across this cage. I got a right hand waiting for you, and he's looking to come out a couple guns blazing and let him fly.
All right, here's the tail of the tape. Chris Mountain of Mayhem Peak is 28, 6'3", 205 pounds, 1-1 in King of the Cage. His opponent, Ron Killing Fields, is 30, 6'4", 205 pounds, 1-0 in KOTC. How do you see this one going down, Joe?
You know what? I think we'll probably start seeing a few punches thrown. Whether or not it goes to the ground, I couldn't guess. These guys are both well-rounded fighters, and they both come to bang. So hopefully we'll get to see, you know, a few punches get thrown.
Referee for the fight is Vern Gorman, and he'll bring both combatants to the center of the cage.
Aware of the rules. Remember to protect yourself at all times. Remember to listen to my commands at all times. Touch up and back to north.
Peak has mentioned that he's in the best shape that he can be and wants to knock out his opponent, of course. While Mr. Fields feels that he's earned a reputation as a striker. That's why he's had to submit 6 of his opponents this year. And he feels that he's going to stop Mr. Peak with strikes in the first round. So a lot of talk. Now it's time to walk the walk, Joe and Duke.
Absolutely. Joe, how's your approach? Here you are in the cage. What are you usually feeling as an MMA fighter in there right now?
I think at this point you want to get out there and just kind of test the waters a little bit, see how your opponent reacts to your punches, how you have your kicks, see what he's going to do in the way he moves.
Nice double leg takedown by Peak. Trying to pass the half guard. Looking for side mounts and able to achieve it.
You know, the funny thing about MMA is you could be standing there trying to feel your opponent. Next thing you know, he explodes and you're on the ground. That feeling of process doesn't quite last as long as it would perhaps in a boxing match.
Into the scarf hold now. Nice reversal. So a little back and forth action here, Joe.
Yeah, these guys are doing really good. They're working hard, changing positions. It's looking to be, could be a pretty interesting fight.
Crossface there. Having to watch the distribution of their weight. Fields very busy scrambling on the bottom. Peak still inside control there, Duke.
Well, Joe, you're a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Tell us, you're the Jiu-Jitsu expert. give us your synopsis on what's going on the ground game.
Well, Peak's in control right now. I mean, he's holding him down inside now. He's got his weight distributed really well. He just needs to be careful not to put too much weight over